All right, for today's video review, we're going to start taking a look at Transformers Beast Wars Tripredacus, one of the two Beast Wars combiners. And yeah, this is a pretty fun set. I'm going to split this up into a few different videos and just take a look at the figures individually in their own separate videos, and then do a fourth video to actually show off Tripredacus himself. But if you don't know, the set consists of C-Clamp, Cicadacon, and Ramhorn. We're just going to be taking a look at Cicadacon today, and they combined to make Tripredacus. There was also a Maximal combiner that Magnaboss that had Silverbolt, Prowl, and Ironhide. And I've never had that one. I've only ever had the Predacon one, and seeing images of it online, like the individual figures seem like they suffer a bit more than the Predacon one. So this has always been the set that I kind of prefer, but I'm sure that those are cool figures in their own right. But yeah, before we get on into it, I do also want to say I am missing a few parts. Both Cicadacon and Ramhorn come with sort of like separate weapons that can combine to be a combined weapon for the combined mode, and I don't have those weapons. It just didn't come with the eBay listing that I got for these guys like a while ago. So yeah, I don't feel like they totally need it. They feel pretty complete without those, honestly, but I'll kind of mention those as we go along. But yeah, we'll start off here. We're just going to take a look at Cicadacon for today's video, who's probably my favorite of the three. It's either him or C-Clamp. I think, those two are pretty solid figures, and Ramhorn is okay, but Cicadacon is pretty cool. He obviously turns into a cicada. I've also seen images where it has like this little bit pointing out, which is like a crest for the combined mode. I think it just looks way better with that folded under, and I don't think that real cicadas have like a huge, proboscis or whatever it's supposed to be called out like that, so I feel like it looks a little bit better like this, but to each his own. He's got good articulation here on the wings. He's got 4 wings here that are each on ball joints, so they can get a pretty decent wingspan there. And then if you actually had the weapons, they would kind of store underneath here and could fold out even a little bit further to make the wings even longer. And they have some nice orange bits on them too. Would have been nice to have had those, but I don't feel like it's totally needed. I feel like it's still a pretty good bug mode even without it. His robot mode legs are just kind of hanging out from the back there, which is a little awkward, but if you have him sitting on the ground, then the wings kind of cover it up anyway. So I feel like he has a pretty decent cicada mode. And then the arms are supposed to peg underneath here, but it's kind of just like a resting spot. They don't really like stay super well, which can be a little bit annoying. But yeah, no, pretty decent bug mode. In terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is just for the standard one with Kingdom Sideswipe. And for a modern Beast Wars bug, here he is with Kingdom Waspinator, just so you can see what they all look like together. Pretty comparable in size there to Waspinator. But yeah, to get onto transformation, first thing you want to do is the arms underneath here, you just want to unpeg them from the side and then fold them out like this on these armatures. And then you can take the bug legs, they usually kind of do it on their own, but you want to fold them up like this so they sit, just to the side of the arms like that. Then you want to fold up this bit and take this entire section with the cicada head, and that will actually fold down onto his chest. And then these little bug legs usually come with it, but you just want them sitting like that. And then for the robot mode legs, you kind of actually have to fold open these panels just to have access to them. These panels stay in the same place in the robot and bug mode, but they do need to kind of like fold out to release the feet there. So you can just fold them out of those cavities and then unhinge them at the knee. Should have done that first, but oh well. Just do that on both sides here. Just open them enough that you can kind of get the foot out there from the side, and then we can fold these up. Then make sure that this waist piece stays pegged into place just like that. And then bring all this down onto his chest. And then you open this little green flap in the back here just like that. And then you can flip out the robot mode head and then close that back up. Fold down the feet, and there we have Cicadacon in his robot mode. And yeah, he's a pretty decent little robot. I will say that the purple on him is a little bit distracting. It just makes him feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a totally on-brand color here. I think it would have been slightly better if it was just like a different shade of green. It would look a little bit more, I don't know, serious for lack of a better word. But yeah, no, I like his robot mode a lot. I like his head sculpt here, very creepy looking, just with the kind of, the purple paint on there. And he has like he has like the green bit on the back here, as if like the eyes were green, like how they do for light piping, but they're painted red, so whatever. But yeah, in terms of articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so it can rotate around like that. It's like the actual ball joint itself is seated a little bit back on the head, so the head kind of shifts to the side when you rotate it, but it's not super noticeable. Shoulders are on ball joints. They can rotate around like that. And then for transformation, you do have kind of a bit of a butterfly joint facing forward. Elbows are on ball joints, which get a pretty deep bend there, and then also gives him a bicep swivel. Nothing at the wrists, nothing at the waist. Hips can go forward about that far, back about that far, and out to the side about that far. He's got a ball joint and a hinge at the knee, so that kind of gives him a thigh swivel, but it also gives him a really deep knee bend. So he's got pretty good knee articulation there, just for how it folds up for transformation. I will say that the waist piece does kind of come unhooked every once in a while, which is a bit annoying. And then the feet are just on hinges that go forward and back. And then obviously you can still do whatever you want with the wings. I usually like to splay them out for combined mode, so I usually just leave them down on the back for his robot mode, but you've got those options there. So yeah, pretty decent articulation. I will say there was a couple like awkward things about his aesthetic. Like he does have a big bulky chest, which doesn't really bother me all that much, but the hollow cavities in the forearms are a little bit distracting, and also don't really need to be there. Like they need to have a little bit of hollowness just to make room for the the upper arm there, but not to that extent. They don't really compress fully into those pieces there. But yeah, no, overall I really like the way his robot mode looks. In terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is again with Kingdom Sideswipe, and here he is again with Kingdom Waspinator, just so you can see what he looks like with some average size deluxes there. He's a little bit short, kind of the same height as Kingdom Waspinator, so a little bit short for kind of modern deluxes. But yeah, stacks up okay. And then also here's his Predacon rub symbol here right behind his head. It's kind of warm in here right now, so that's showing up pretty nicely. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to Cicadacon in and of himself. The wing things that you could take off, he could also hold in his hands here. And his hands are not the best looking sculpts in the world. I think they're a little bit awkward and boxy looking and don't really convincingly look like hands, but that's how the weapons are supposed to function. And then I'll show him off again with Ramhorn and C-Clamp once we get to their videos. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to Cicadacon. Like I said, I feel like he's just an overall the most solid figure out of the three of them. C-Clamp is a lot of fun too, but I don't know. I've just always really liked Cicadacon. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to him. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Make sure to check me out on my Instagram account. That's toys.n.art. And my next few videos are going to be taking a look at the rest of the Tripredacus team. But without further ado, here we have Transformers Beast Wars Cicadacon.